Absolutely, yeah. Before you joined, we were actually talking already about the feasibility or how feasible is a second national dialogue towards solving the Anglophone crisis. You know, the gravity of the crisis, which are the crisis already entering its sixth year, and you know the gravity. Now, at this particular juncture, people are still looking for a feasible solution. In your own perspective, what do you think is feasible at this particular moment? Should a second national dialogue be held? And if yes, what's its content and who are the actors?
Yeah, it's interesting when you see Cameroon, a country that has been ruled by hooligans, a country that has been handmassed and hijacked by a few, less than 1% of the people, ruling a nation for over 40 years. When we came to power, I mean in 1982, President Paul Biya talked of rigor and moralization, and if people are complaining, the same causes will produce the same effect. The same causes will produce the same effect in the fact that the first measure, what they call the measure national dialogue, was simply a monologue in which one party decided to define the content, created the commissions, appointed whosoever were going to be head of that particular commission, equally select those who are going to be participants, and decide even on the amount to pay those who participated in such a monologue. It equally tells you that whatsoever we do, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Whenever we carry out certain action, we should equally be ready to receive the same results. If we are receiving the same results, is that for over 3 years, as revised by the recent Prime Ministerial Commission on the implementation of the measure, what they call the measure national dialogue, people, in fact, they keep on hailing themselves that, in fact, the situation is getting into normalcy. I ask if things get into normalcy means the worries presented by the Anglophones have been answered. That is not what the Prime Minister answered. The question is far-fetched from the report given. Is this what Anglophones wanted? Is this what Anglophones' aspirations talked about? And if we cannot, I cannot be complaining of headache, and you're giving me a drug that can instead cure liver problems, and you think my headache will be cured or treated. So this is what happens, that the decision given and the resolution arrived at by the measure national dialogue were simply cosmetic or otherwise perishable in the sense that they will extinguish and disappear within the shortest time possible. But several times, one of it again was cloned with a lot of lies telling, to tell the head of state that we are doing pretty much. And I want to tell you that the revision and the visit to reevaluate what the measure national dialogue has cost is more expensive than the implementation they have taken over. I mean, the cost in organizing such meetings. We bring people from abroad, we pay their flight, we pay their coming, and then we host them, then lodge them in hotels, then they have to pay their flight back. And you ask yourself, do we really need this in a government that is going to carry actions? We are always told that action speaks louder than words. So which means, after the measure national dialogue, do we even need to evaluate ourselves? The results should be seen on the field. Is it not that Anglophones have been acting what I call resistance apathy, appealing to their own conscience that we have suffered a lot and that we should not fight again or stop killing our own? Are we ending the struggle because the recipe given by the government was adequate and is responding perfectly? Have we really answered such questions? If that is the case, be very careful. When things die down quietly, naturally, those who think in future that they will regenerate, the same crisis will still emerge. So if we can adopt measures on issues relating to the worries of Anglophones, we are talking of dating back to the federal system. The federal system is the 1961 constitution, which the same country destroyed and created unilaterally. They destroyed the federal state, created Cameroon, they destroyed later themselves, and created the Republic of Cameroon. Can they name back, ask the government that be, can they name Cameroon the Federal Republic of Cameroon? And that's what I'm saying. One of the worries is that get back to the billboard, tell Cameroonians that the state of Cameroon has become the Federal Republic of Cameroon. Can they honestly do that? And then it is possible for an Anglophone not just to be a messenger, because I call the position as a messenger. He is the fifth state personnel in Cameroon. After the President of the Republic, you have the Senate, the National Assembly, the President of Economic and whatsoever. Then you find the Prime Minister sitting at the fifth position. Had this issue been answered, is there a road linking Bamenda and Babaju or the West region? Is there a ring road leading the 5 or 7 divisions of the Northwest to the regional capital of Bamenda? In fact, the Coffin Revolution was giving a response to this. No roads in Bamenda. Have we answered these questions?
And of course,
I'm just telling you, if the national dialogue has not answered such issues, where can we indict? Where can we appoint? Is there a reference hospital? A reference hospital in these 2 regions? If you can't, we have the deep sea port constructed in full Anglophone crisis. The Limbe deep sea port is not talked about. The police, what we call the National Police Academy. It is not what we call the Police Academy in Mutengene. We used to call the National Police Academy, which is based in Mutengene. Today, we have detached it, and part of it is found in Yaoundé. Why the detachment? Which university or school or academic of studying that we have detached from Yaoundé to the Northwest or the Southwest? People should give us a lot of this. There are a lot of worries we should think a major national dialogue like what we are having, thinking that is going to come, should take into consideration the plights and worries of Anglophones.
Absolutely.
That they should,
absolutely, yeah.
Anglophones should be looked upon as citizens of the same nation. Not Anglophones themselves, but the regions of that particular area. Because somebody will tell you that who is an Anglophone. The moment you ask this question, it simply refers to that you are so myopic, you are ignorant, you are wayward, academically bankrupt. If somebody can ask a question in Cameroon, who is an Anglophone? And it is really funny and disgraceful that you find such words coming from a minister of the Republic, T.A. Anglophone. And whispering to him, as the children have gone to school and learned English, they are Anglophones. And I will tell him that the same students of his region or village that have studied German or Italiano are not Germans and they are not Italians. Okay. And so he should answer the question himself, who is an Anglophone in Cameroon? So these are some of the issues which I think very strongly the actors within what you are asking, the civil society, which is not handpicked. If we want to pick the civil society in Cameroon to participate in a future dialogue, let's be sincere to ourselves. We have seen a lot for these 6 years, and we know those who are trying to propagate or propose solutions to help this country forward. But now, it will go to friendship. So it's just okay, members of the religious group, you will see the Catholic, you see the Baptist, and the Imam will be present, the Presbyterian will be present. And you think you have finished with the civil society. It is not done like that. And when you think political parties, what do you call political parties? PDM, and you call the president and you say, those representing the national assembly, and you said you have dealt with it. These are not the people. Those who are eating from that same plate have no problem with the plate. Except those who are out of that table. So it is a time set we need to reason out of the box. Stay within the box has created us a lot of conflict. Can we bring in new elites? The fear of the rising of the new elite is also disturbing the whole Cameroon. Because I'm telling you that presently Cameroon is ruled by ancestors. Those who were there while independence was gained, those who were there with the Amadu Ijo, are saying 60 years is too much a period. Cameroon has grown a new leadership. We need this new leadership, whether they are in government or out of the government, in Cameroon or in the diaspora, they need to come in. Some of the things this government has failed to understand is that the role of the diaspora remains essential. The role of the diaspora in the development of every nation. Do not neglect, reconcile with the diaspora. I am presently thinking that the major actors in the Anglophone crisis are the diaspora. Why not give them the primordial role in the second or future dialogue? There is no nation that has been developed without the diaspora. Maybe people don't know. Because the creation of the state of Israel, which we call today the Jews, the Jewish community, was created from the diaspora. And people even said the coming of Jesus Christ on earth was from the diaspora. God sent Jesus from heaven to earth. And you can even imagine that. So there are some of the things I'm just trying to inform here. We should be very careful when we start fighting the diaspora. The diaspora have what we call in economics hard currency. We are dealing with local currency. CFA is not a currency. but if we can encourage the Cameroonian diaspora, reconcile with them, make them to be economically implicated, why not politically? We need them. We need subsidy in Nigeria. If people don't know, they should try to find out how much the diaspora contribute to the economy of Nigeria. How many the diaspora contribute to the economy like that of Ethiopia? Ask around. We are yet so hostile as if the country belongs to us, and that those who have moved out of the nation, they are not part. The major actors and the trouble disturbing character of Anglophone's crisis are the diaspora. Okay. Is that a means we can create a bridge rather than building walls?
Of course.
So there is a lot. If there is a possibility of a second national dialogue, Cameroonians will need to see the sincerity, and that we avoid what I call pride. Jesus Christ was a humble citizen, and we were taught in the watching of the feet of the disciples. Can our own leaders wash the feet of those they think are disturbing Cameroon to say peace should return? I quoted an example. You can imagine what happened in South Sudan. That a pope of his caliber, look at the shoes of all outdated criminals in Sudan to bring sustainable peace. There is an extent we can go if we love a nation. There is an extent we can go if we love the people. Humility remains one of the character. A lot of people are sitting in armchair. The Anglophone crisis was created and generated out of arrogance. Arrogance from some who think that we have the power and you can't do anything.